Hi there and welcome back, where today we'll be talking about Genshin Impact, or more specifically, BAND-MAID's contribution to their 2022 Genshin Concert. We've been talking about BAND-MAID a lot recently because they had an EP coming out and we did the review of that and everything. But hey, if you're going to offer us interesting things, I'm going to talk about it. So here we are talking about BAND-MAID again with their contribution, and I believe this was the Dawn Winery Theme. That just sounds like such a very quintessentially chilled and relaxed thing. It's the morning, the sun is coming up, you're smelling your wine with a controller, and then beautiful. Hopefully you don't make that sound when you drink wine. Anyway, so we are going to talk about this because I just happen to know someone who is of the right age and demographic that she is playing Genshin Impact. Therefore, I have actually seen this game up close. Yes, me of this age, and I know there's probably some people of the right age to be playing this game who are actually watching this video right now like, hey, old man, is this video really just you talking? I bet you're bald under that cap. Truth is, yes, I am. All my followers know it, and joke's on you. It takes me less time to wash my hair than it takes you to wash your hands. But let's move on, because we're talking about the fact that this is BAND-MAID playing a song from Genshin Impact at the show. And anyway, as I was saying, Genshin Impact, yes, I've seen it. It is a game with really interesting, very thematic graphics, lots of different areas that all have different moods. So this is a game really based on mood. By the way, this video brought to you by Genshin Impact. No, it's really not. It's not brought to you by Genshin Impact. They're not paying me. I wish they would pay me, but no. Anyway, I will talk about the music at some point in this. So, on my Discord, a lot of people have been describing this after seeing the show, and apologies, I'm a little bit, like a day or so late to get around to this, but a lot of people were describing this as, okay, BAND-MAID do green sleeves. And upon hearing it, this song really does sound a lot like Green Sleeves. And so as a result, I heard it and I just immediately wanted to leave and go out and try and buy ice cream. In case you're American, I know you have ice cream vans, you call them ice cream trucks there, I think. I don't know. Ice cream vans as well, which play the music as they drive around the neighborhood and you go, oh, ice cream, and then you run out to get your ice cream. Green Sleeves is traditionally the song that was played in the UK. Bing, 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 bing. I'm not going to get copyright for that. I'm sure that is public domain by now. I got a bunch of angry ice cream men suing me. That was the song that was played traditionally when it went around in the English neighborhoods. I'm pretty sure it wasn't in America. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just patronizing everyone. But it was kind of interesting because as I got older, they started playing other songs, and they would start playing more modern pop songs, and it just kind of didn't feel right. It's like, no, play Green Sleeves. Anyway, I will talk about this song. So anyway, the song was actually influenced, you could tell, very heavily influenced by Greensleeve. That's very obvious in the way it's being written, but that's kind of okay. I mean, for a long time, video game music has been that kind of thing where they take ideas of songs that are already famous and they kind of change them. I mean, when I was growing up again, back in the 90s, I remember when Doom came out, and anyone who was had the MIDI music, I'm talking about the original Doom, where basically you're just shooting these weird pixelated sprites that look like cartoons, and there's kind of cartoony blood, and that was enough to get American Congress really upset and angry and try to ban video games or whatever. But yeah, that had a lot of MIDI music, which was very heavily based off of 80s and 70s metal music apparently, and to the point that when they got into the files, they found out that actually the songs that were on there had been named after the real songs that they were copied from. So yeah, this is a long history that goes back through video game music, and I kind of understand it, Why not do something that sounds similar to a song that you heard that maybe inspired you to do the game? So I get that. I will get round to talking about this performance. Where was I? Okay, so the song sounds like Green Sleeves, but it does carry that sort of feeling. I mean, when you think about that's the sort of nostalgic feeling to Green Sleeves. Da, 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 makes you think, you think about wistful times. Wineries in the morning at the dawn. So it kind of works with that. I like that idea. And it's so interesting now that video games have such the music and the love that Japan has for video game music anyway is kind of insane. But hey, it's music. You're having whole concerts with recognized artists playing these songs, and I love the fact that with all of the attention they put into building these worlds in Genshin Impact, who are not paying me, that they have the music to support that as well. The music supports all of the world building. I love that. That's a great... Should I talk about BAND-MAID at this? I should talk about BAND-MAID. They did play the song. Shall I talk about BAND? Shall I get onto that? All right, let's get round to why we're here. So at first, BAND-MAID appear on this stage, and the video, ironically, at the bottom in the comments, it said, "Beware if you have like problems with epilepsy." There's a lot of flashing lights, and I'm not surprised because actually this entire performance, the director and the whole stage set that wasn't good. I'll be honest, it looked at first like, oh, this is going to be really cool. But then the lights, it wasn't even like full-on strobing, which you get. It was just kind of this weird half strobing, 50% off, 50% on sort of thing. Like the lights were malfunctioning more than anything. It didn't look stylistic or anything. It just kind of looked like everything was flickering. The camera movement looked like the cameraman was probably drunk, just slewing around. Yeah, just everything about the way it was filmed, I thought, as much love was not put into recording this performance as it was into the game. And when it cuts to the actual shot of the game, it's like, oh, this game seems to be very beautifully made. And then it cuts back to the band and they're playing amazingly while the cameraman's drunkenly slewing around and someone's just playing with all the light switches. And it was difficult to watch. I mean, I'm all for sort of fast moving and fast cutting music videos, but this wasn't that. This just looked really messy. But that's all fine because, of course, BAND-MAID were playing this song. So let's talk, finally, about BAND-MAID playing this song. Yeah, it was really good. Now, in all seriousness now, though, I was being serious about the other stuff, but just talking about the song here, it was really nice to see a band of that level of proficiency, even though I know that a lot of people, through things like this, are probably seeing them for the first time, and the initial reaction is, okay, a bunch of women dressed up as maids, and I know that it can be something which can bring in people who already like music and who are kind of open-minded to that kind of stuff. But I've said before, I've always talked about if you've got like a visual gimmick or a visual thing for your band, it can bring in some people. It can also sort of push away other people, probably more mainstream audiences. So it can make you very popular within a niche, but also make it difficult for you to get through to other people. So I thought it was nice that they did a song like this, where they were playing something that obviously the listeners had already heard. So they kind of knew the basis of the song already, which means that they could hear how the musicianship of the band improved upon it, added a touch, and you could really obviously therefore hear what great musicians we all kind of know they are already. I mean, the drum work as well, I've often spoken about the Akane from BAND-MAID is, in my opinion, one of the best drummers who's working contemporarily at the current moment. I mean, the nice little touches, the sort of way that she was sort of playing with the rhythm and not just sort of hammering away like you'd expect from some rock drummers, but there was those nice delicate touches. A lot of this song is not very loud. I mean, it's basically video game Greensleeves after all. So building up to those heavier bits through some nice delicate touches was really there. The great bass work, the guitar work, kind of everything you'd expect, but it was just lovely. And that's kind of what I love about these kind of things. This is why I think it's great to see bands stepping into this kind of thing. I mean, I don't know, maybe a couple of the members play the video game and therefore they're like, play the video game. Younger people watching this, like, it's an app. To be honest, younger people stopped watching this video ages ago. But this is what I like about this kind of thing, is that you get bands who are willing to step into this territory, do something which is kind of a bit fun, a bit different, allows them to show their skills to a different audience, but also at the same time as using their skills. I mean, I talked about when when BAND-MAID did Summer Sonic, and and when they were sort of playing to fans who were pretty much queuing up waiting for the real screamo metal bands. I'm not saying, okay, it's nice for them to get through to those kind of fans, but those fans are very much there for a thing. But when you do a show like this, you're playing predominantly to maybe a younger audience, to a more mainstream audience as well. You're playing to people who maybe don't have such a set taste in music. They're just kind of there out of curiosity because they like the game and they want to hear someone interpret the music they like in a different way. So when you hear the interpretation that comes across here, it's like, okay, you get to hear this is what you know the song, you like the song, you have a mental atmosphere built up around the song from playing the game, and then you see this and it adds something to it. It adds that musicianship, it adds a love for music that maybe the viewer might have been more casually, might have had a more casual perspective, a more casual angle on before they saw this. So I think this is both good for bands to really share a love of music out to a broader audience, and I think it's also good for their brand. We talk a lot about music marketing here, and I do think it's very good for a band to really, just have themselves come across as as a group of people who, okay, we're not just hard rock all the time. We're willing to do other things. We're willing to play with other things. We don't pigeonhole. See what I did there? Excuse the pun. Don't pigeonhole ourselves in. Anything else I can really say about this is all pretty obvious. I mean, yeah, it was beautifully played. They did a great job. I thought the guitar work was beautiful. As I said, drum work beautiful. And the bass work, again, as always, Misa from BAND-MAID is just absolutely brilliant. But Japan is a country full of amazing bass players. I don't know what the obsession is with bass over here, but damn, it's just good bass here. It's really good bass. Anyway, those are my thoughts, and most of them weren't even about the song. My eventual conclusion was it was great, and there's nothing to say except for, of course, it was great. We already know they're great musicians. But I just thought this was a brilliant thing, interestingly done, and I would like to see more of this kind of thing. More of bands just popping up in weird places, doing weird things we didn't expect, especially bands like BAND-MAID, who we all know are very versatile and who do not just, do not draw lines around themselves and stick it within one genre. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. And actually, one more thing I'm going to add, which is that I mentioned about the BAND-MAID image being something that's going to hit different people in different ways. But video games like this are very predominantly directed towards younger, fashionable, not my age, of a fashionable age, younger women. The sort of girls who are, they are the sort of people who drive what is cool. And as a predominantly female market. And that's good. Don't we want to see more young girls being introduced to music in a way where they can go, okay, you can like something which is kind of fun and kind of got a bit of a cuteness to it, a sweetness and innocence to it, but it's also, something with the sort of the atmosphere you'd expect from video game, but at the same time saying, well, look, you can be into these things and you can also be an awesome musician. You can mix your interests. I don't think we get enough of that in the West. I don't think Western audiences have that. And ever since I've come out to living in Japan and just being in Asia, I haven't left Asia in the last 6 years at all, even when traveling. And it's just very clear that, there seems to be less pigeonholing, as I said earlier. And so for me, it's just really nice to see this. And I hope that it'll just be like one person here, one person there, who was just enjoying the video game, saw this and it made them think, yeah, you know what, that's kind of cool. I could be into rock music. I could be, I could do that kind of thing, whether it be a career or just a side passion that they have. So yeah, I think knock down the boundaries, more of this kind of stuff. And as we've noticed, as is very clear from this channel, but as we've noticed, so much of the best music coming out from Japan is driven by women. Hopefully this will just give us generations more. All right, there you go. Like I said, those are my thoughts. Get in the comments, tell me what you think. Till I hopefully see you next time for another one of these. For now, I'm bored. Ciao, ciao.